See if I can practice this streaming. So planning on doing a little streaming tomorrow. See how it goes with this little practice session. I don't have access to any music, so the last time I did this with music, I got a whole bunch of copyright things. These frightening warnings. Well, I don't know if they're frightening, but there's a whole bunch of emails like, you have violated copyrights. And I don't want to be a copyright violator. So this is not the stream to get the free stickers. So tomorrow I'll be doing a stream around, I think, at 9 o'clock, right on this bat channel. This is not a bat channel. This is the Grade A Fun channel. By accident, you happen to be tuning in because maybe you're by your computer or you subscribe to the channel. And if you subscribe to the channel, I greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. I don't really know how to live chat, so if there's an option to live chat and anybody's here, feel free to drop something in there and ask questions, and I'll see if I can answer them. And if you just don't want to say anything and you just want to hang out and watch me undo this like 50 times, that's cool too. And so I start with a drawing that I did the old-fashioned way. The good old-fashioned way. What's happening, Devon, man? I appreciate you coming out or checking out the stream. This is just practice. I'm practicing for my my stream tomorrow. So be here tomorrow. I got some stickers from the comic that I'm working on that I'm gonna be giving away. So if you want free stickers, man, show up so you can get some info on how to grab one of those. So I'm just drawing in Toon Boom if you're wondering, like, because normally that's the question that people tend to ask, like, hey, where you drawing in? And I like it just because of some of the way the brushes work. It's really cool. I like Photoshop too, but the palette system that Toon Boom has, in all honesty, it requires a little bit of setup to set up all your palettes to make the process go faster later. So if you don't mind investing a little bit of time and energy up front for the reward of the process being a little bit quicker later, especially if you have a lot of color to do. And I'm assuming, because the last time I did something remotely comic, like, it was all black and white, and if you're not subscribed yet, check out the comic on, I think I'm saying this right, it's Tapatastic. It's TAPASTIC.com, and then look for Cowboy Detective. There'll be a new page up there tomorrow, by the way, in case you're interested. Ooh, let me move that somewhere because it's gonna be in my way. I'll just zoom. I'll leave it up there so if somebody ducks in, and you can just put that in the search, and it should pop up when you look for. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell it. If you look for Cowboy Detective, though, you could probably find it. You know, any support, it's good support. And if you know any other people that are even remotely into, you know, kind of ridiculous comics, and even if they're not, just say go support this dude. Oh man, I know it sounds crazy, but it's hard out there. It's hard out there. So anyway, just a little bit of thick to thin. Try not to go too extreme with it, but I do like the degree of control you have over the brushwork is very satisfying. Again, because it's fairly quick and easy, and if you have even a modicum of control, you can knock this out fairly quickly. So in a way, it's a tad lazy, but lazy has too many negative implications, so I don't want to say it's lazy, but again, it definitely in the long run makes the process just a little bit more fine-tuned and finesse. So I'm just taking a drawing that I did, a design I did, and I'm just kind of clean it up so I have it on model, and I'm just making sure that all my palettes are in order. So when I go full bore on this, when I start producing page after page after page after page, that it'll be fairly quick and easy to knock out. At least this is my theory. This is my theory. So some of this stuff you'll see I just draw straight through, and some of it you'll see that I stop right at the edge of things, because it got some really cool tools in here for if you draw past a line and you want to erase out the edge, but you don't want to manually have to go and erase the edge because maybe your coordination is a little poor. I don't think that's why they designed it like that. I think they designed it like that because it's more efficient if you can just cut the edges, and it's all vector, so it's a little bit easier to work with. And every once in a while, like, I'll go into the tools here and I'll change the smoothing for this so it corrects my line a little bit more, because I'm not the most steady person in the world, so I don't mind if the tool does a little bit of fixing for me. If it starts to get a little wild, a little out of control, I'll just dial it down a little bit. So you can see there I kind of changed some of the shape on that because I didn't like the evenness of that. So when I was drawing it's pretty cool, but once I started looking back and going back into it, I just kind of thought to myself, I don't like that, which is definitely a part of the process of, if you're designing things, like you shouldn't just, I don't think it's ideal to just do a one-off and not really, even if you're basically cleaning up your own design, you know, you should spend a little bit of time thinking about, you know, is that the best possible choice decision, instead of just sort of mindlessly following it. Because every once in a while I'll just kind of mindlessly follow something, and then later on I'll go back and look at it, and you know, I'll be a little bit aggravated that I didn't just take even the smallest amount of time to just make a correction to it, to fix it, to improve it, to just plus it so that it either reads a little better or shape language is a little stronger, whatever it happens to be. Just trying to do the due diligence. So the goal here is not absolutely flawless lines. As you can see, like there are some areas where it gets a little blah. And I'm not really super concerned about, hey, let's make every one of these lines single stroke, completely closed, absolutely masterful lines. Because at the end of the day, this is just, for this is really like, let me try to knock this out so I can, again, just set up my palettes, set up my colors to make sure all that stuff is in order. So when I get down to the real work, not that this isn't real work, but when I get down to the business, not that this isn't the business, but I think you know what I mean, right? Like drawing a single character is cool, but when all is said and done, if you're doing a comic or you're doing an illustration, it's not about, look at that, I did that one thing really cool. So hopefully some sound is coming through. I'm not really sure because I don't have any headphones or anything on. So once this is done, I'm gonna go back and check the stream and see if it recorded the sound. And if anybody's still watching, let me know in the chat if there's any sound or not, because I want to make sure all my settings and stuff are correct before I do the real streaming magical streamage. I don't think streamage is a word, by the way. But before I do the stream tomorrow, I'm just making sure that everything is functioning and operational. And I want to practice my really cool talking on the street voice. Check out my cool streaming voice. Yeah. It's almost on that Barry White type level. I'm gonna try to see if I can pitch shift it so it's a little bit deep, so it commands a room. Like, whoa, look at that dude, listen to that dude's voice. It's so spectacular. I don't like that right there. Alright, so I'll just presumably say that the very back toe would probably be hidden so you couldn't see it. Got some really funky feet. And sometimes for some poses I'll just take the same foot and just mirror it. In this case I probably should just draw through some of, and I'm trying not to, I don't really want to make this that thick, but it feels like if I leave it, I'm gonna maybe add that a little bit there. I feel like if I leave that, it's gonna make a tangent there, and tangents are doom. That's my doom voice. Doom. Oh, look at that. That's gonna be a tangent. Nope, I don't think it will. Although I'm getting some really, okay, see, that's really funky right there. So I'm gonna use this little tool here that cuts the bits out that are overlapping. It's really cool. I really like it. I think that's part of This is one of the reasons that I'm using this software, because I really do like this feature. It's so awesome. And it's so convenient. I mean, I'm sure you can erase that out in, again, if you're photoshopping or manga studioing or whatever. This is really not a, it's too long. This is really not a promo video per se. Unless somebody was considering giving me free stuff, then, you know, I'll promote for free stuff. That's a hint. If anybody's got some software that they want to promote, or drawing pencils, drawing tools, art tools. So, if it's cool, I'll use it, and I'll talk about it. Like, yo, this is nice. Love this. If it's no good though, I probably wouldn't send it to me. I mean, not that I'm gonna bash it or anything, because I'm not that kind of dude. I just come online and bash you just to be bashing you, especially if you're hooking me up with something. But I can't in good conscience promote something that I'm just not, I don't use, or I'm not into, or I don't like. It's not my thing. It's not my forte. It's not my forte. Or however many tays. Ooh, I wonder if I should keep that little. Cool. I put 3 on there because I'm the third. It's kind of an artist ego thing. Like, check me out. I'm putting a little bit of myself in here. A little bit of my own. Let me add a bit of myself. Ooh, I think I should change the elbow and make it just a little more angular. Oh yeah, I like that. So I think I'll change this one. Oh my goodness, look at that eraser. Eraser's gigantic. That was a bad idea. So I'll just bring the size of that down a little bit. And then draw past and make a small connection. Awesome. Ooh, those angles are cool. So that feels like it adds a little more shape. The hair probably wouldn't come over that part of the arm, so so this is a case where, just so I don't end up making it too, make offset on accident and then it just doesn't look right, I'm just gonna draw straight through and then have it cut it. And just make this weird little scraggly. It's got these weird scraggly sharp sort of fingers. And I usually like to do about three fingers and a thumb normally. Mostly just because it's faster to draw. You have to draw the extra finger, and I don't end up having to cram it. And I wouldn't have to cram it really tight, because sometimes I run out of a little bit of space. So if I don't make if I don't make 4 fingers and a thumb, it means that I get to save a tiny bit of space. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that. That's not that big a deal, to be quite honest. But any small thing that you can save on is a saving. Boom, that was quick. So again, if you happen to be watching this, boom, ooh, that was Phil. Look, go on here and check this out. Check it out. Check it out. I'm gonna write it too, just in case you couldn't hear it. Check it out. Boom. All right, so I'm gonna slam some color on this because that was about, I think that was about 20 minutes of drawing. And that was 20 minutes of drawing and jabbering and making decisions and changing stuff. So I'm pretty sure, I can't say absolutely, but I'm pretty sure I could knock this out. Like a drawing like this, if I'm not jabbering along, I could knock this out in probably half that time. And then with coloring, I could probably, knock it out in about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, something like that, maybe. So I'm going to turn off this drawing back here, and let me get this out of the way. That's gone. Now I'll leave it there. I'll move it over here, and I'll zoom in and out whenever I want to see it. So if I want, I can select this and scale it down so it fits inside of my little frame here. So when I export this out, it'll export out really nicely. And if you've been on a site, I recently posted up a little character bio of one of the characters already. So if you get a chance, you can check that out. Now I'm gonna show you real quick how I did that. I actually made a template for that whole little backdrop, so I could just drag and drop that in here, and the little folder backdrop and all that stuff comes in, and it's underneath this little peg here, and I can come in here and change the text. So it's already basically templated up, which is awesome. So I'll just change so I put it on the color layer previously. So this guy, I'll say he's out of, let's say, New York. Oops. Select that, delete. New York. Exclamation mark, because New York is serious. So his name is C. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Making a big old mess here. Goodness. Alright, let's try this one more time. Alright. There we go. See more problems. It's a joke. Get it? See more problems. And I just make up these numbers here. They're not even real numbers. 3, 4, 5, 6. Right now they don't mean anything, but eventually I'm gonna tie those into having some sort of meaning, because that's good. That's called good storytelling. That's called good storytelling. And then just like some basic write-up. So these are, I'm doing air quotes right now. These are like dossiers that the main character is keeping on these characters. So that's kind of the idea behind the whole folders and all that sort of stuff. So he makes notes about them. So we'll say for this guy, he's a Hopefully the spelling is right. Spelling is not really my forte. So it says low-level criminal involved in petty theft and petty feuds. Part informant and part wannabe crime boss. This guy is a big problem. Ties back into his name, Problem. Oh, oh man. So let me make some fake convictions for this guy. So we'll say he was dealing in narcotics. I need to look up some more crime stuff because I want to say something about this guy. He's he has let's say a felony. Say felony theft. Say aggravated. Let's say aggravated theft. So, and I might change his bio later when I like his little write up of his opinion of who this dude is. So I might change it later. I don't know yet. But it's later when we get a chance to peruse through the comic, you'll see that it's just there's a number of just ridiculous things, and mostly because I like ridiculous things, and I feel like there's not really enough ridiculous things out there. So let me name this. I like to name my layers because 3 weeks from now I'll have no idea what the heck this stuff is. So I'll call this character. I'll call this my character drawing. Because that'll happen if you draw enough, especially if you draw digitally. At some point, if you're not naming things, you're probably killing yourself. So I'm gonna import a palette for this guy. I should have a palette for this guy. I think I do. If not, I'll probably just make one. Let me see if I can find. There should be. There he is. So I already made a palette for him before because I already did some other drawings for him. So most of the stuff that I probably need for this guy is already here, and if it's not, I'll make a new color for it. So that's what these other palettes here. Some of these are for other stuff. Like I did another character, Don Tortuga. That's my really bad Spanish, and so if anybody speaks Spanish is watching this, I'm sorry in advance. I don't speak Spanish. I just do really bad fake Spanish, so I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend. If you're offended, I'm sorry. Alright, so that's my line art. I'm gonna go to my color, and I'm gonna convert the color to strokes. So hopefully the process of this should be really fast. Just paint it, go to my skin, and just start color filling stuff. And if those strokes bother you, you can turn them off. I'll just press D and turn them off. In the beginning, I'll leave them on just to make sure that if lines are not closed, that I can see where they're not closed. But it looks like I did a decent job of closing these lines. So hat, and then inside a mouth. So this is mouth, and I might. Oh, that's part of the tongue. I might decide to bring the intensity down on that inside that mouth because that's super bright. But it might not be necessary. I'm not sure yet. Oh wait, that's the wrong palette. One minute. See, look, you gotta pay attention to what you're doing. I need this palette. I knew something looked crazy. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. All right, now we're talking. Cause he's like a weird little rat guy. So I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. But it's all good though. So that's because I was clicking through and saying, hey, look at all these other palettes. These palettes are cool. So you have to pay attention. If you don't pay attention, you make mistakes like that, which are not. They're easy to recover from. So, especially in here, like if you make a mistake like that, it's, because it's just, coloring sections. Que amigo. I don't even know what that means. What friend? I hope. Somebody speaks Spanish will come on here and post in the comments like, yo, your Spanish sucks. And then I'll just post back like, I know. Thank you though. Thank you for confirming what I already know. Hope you feel good about yourself. I would probably do my fake cry, hoping that it'll make them feel a little bit bad. I doubt it though. If you go usually people that go out of their way to make those kind of comments about you, like your Spanish sucks or something, they're usually not the kind of people that care that they hurt your feelings. That is a gross generalization, but as far as I'm concerned, it's true. Man, tell me this is so fast. It's almost too easy. Not really. It's easy because the lines are closed. If you don't close the lines, like it can be a little time consuming. But I'm definitely a fan of the palettes. Claro que sí. I don't even know what that means. I don't know why you guys are in the chat throwing out Spanish, because I don't know any Spanish. I don't know if you guys are paying attention when I say I don't know Spanish. I'm serious. I don't know Spanish. The only Spanish I know is if I Google translate it. Alright, so that's basically what it ends up looking like. And that's like a preview render, and here I'll try to get this more full screen. So that's basically what it looks like for right now. And then I'm gonna draw in some other cool fancy stuff around it, some shadows and some highlights and stuff. But it's about 30 minutes. I don't know if you want to watch. I don't think it'll take that long to do some fake shadows and stuff. Yeah, let's do it. I'm already here. Might as well, right? All right, let's bring this back up. Oh, let me move my layers around a little bit here, because I see the text didn't show up. There we go, text. Boom. So this is preview, this is render. So you know what your renders will look like. If you haven't Toon Boom. Oh my goodness. Is that Pig Latin? Oh my goodness. When I was a kid and we were in school and they would start doing Pig Latin, I would just stare blankly, because I was like, I don't even know what you're doing. I didn't even try. I was just like, no, not doing it. You can't even make me do it. I'm not gonna do it. So I'm gonna do shadow. And most of this comic, the way I'm gonna pretty much approach it is that it's probably let me make up some fake statistics. It's probably gonna be 50%, 50% sort of cartoon shading type stuff. Not really a lot of high level sort of shading where it's really cool gradations. There'll be minimal gradations, but it's primarily just gross shadow shapes. So not gross like I'm gonna throw up, but gross as in really big shadows and masses of shadows, light and dark sort of things. Part of it is production wise, it'll go a little faster if I don't have to do a lot of overly complicated shading. But part of it is I just visually I like the look of a sort of cartoon style. I'm just a big fan of that sort of shells. I mean, man, I can't even say it right. Cell shading. Goodness, it's not even a hard word to say. I'm sure there's probably a more efficient way to do this. Like I could probably try to take the strokes that are already there, but every time I do that, it just feels like it takes longer. So I don't even bother doing it. It feels like it's faster just to draw in the shadow shapes that I want. Because then I feel like the last time I tried to do it, it wasn't really time consuming, but I felt like I was just kind of going back and forth with trying not to fill back into things I didn't want to fill into, and it was more work than it needed to be, really. So boom, 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 and I'm just assuming that my light source is coming from basically from this direction. It's a really generic sort of faux light source, because sometimes I'm gonna cheat it to minimize some of the like hiding things that I don't necessarily want to hide, and adding shadows where I want maybe just form to turn just because I want form to turn. So there's a lot of fakery, lots of fakery. However, I do try to make sure that I have a consistent light source though, because I know that there's some serious art folks out there who are scrutinizing your every artistic decision, and to be quite honest, I don't care. Really, I don't. Oh man, like if you're the kind of person that goes to look at people's artwork just so you can scrutinize it, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? If somebody asks you, hey man, take a look at my work, or hey, you take a look at my work, I want you to maybe give me an opinion on what you think of my work, that's a completely different thing. But if you go looking for people's work just so you can say things about it, you are obnoxious. Man, I hope that doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. I really do hope that doesn't hurt anybody's feelings, because that's a little brutal. That's a little harsh. It's a tad harsh. No matter how truthful it may be, it's a little harsh. And you don't have to agree with that if you don't want to. Everybody has their own opinion. You might think it's cool to just roll up on people's artwork and be like, yo, you suck, and not even have anything useful to say. Just, yo, bro, you suck, and then just that's it. But I'm no time, energy, or interest in those sort of conversations or dialogue. So I'm letting you know in advance, if you happen to be watching, or you send this to somebody else to watch, and they watch it and they're like, yo, I hate that dude's voice, I want to be like, okay, congratulations, not sure what you want. But if you say, yo, I hate that dude's voice, but I'm still gonna read his comic, I'm gonna say thank you. I appreciate it. Because when you read my comic, you don't even have to hear my voice. Boom. Yeah, I just won that point. I did. If there were points to be won. And I don't think there's points to be won though. I'm just trying to decide on how much I wanna pull and drop this shadow. You know, how much faux shadow do I want to really? So I'm gonna run this kind of through the middle, and this would definitely, this all falls in the shadow. Boom, boom, boom. Boy, we're going on about. Let me look at the timer there. Oh man, the timer says it's about 40 minutes. Oh my goodness. So tomorrow I was planning on trying to get through a whole page to do this, a very similar process to, clean up, and I'll probably end up just cleaning it up. I don't think I'll be able to color it, to be quite honest. I think I would run out of things to say, number one. Oh yeah, I use a 13 Cintiq, the smaller one. Because I used to use a tablet, but if there's one thing that once you use a Cintiq or any sort of tablet drawing screen, when you could draw directly on the screen, it kind of ruins you for the standard sort of graphic tablet. At least that's my opinion. I felt like once I started using the Cintiq, that it kind of destroyed me from ever using a graphics tablet. Unless somebody forced me to, then I probably could. But I don't know. I can't envision somebody being like, "You saw I'm taking your Cintiq and you shall never use it again." I guess it's possible. The funny thing is though, I still do a lot of drawing on paper and sketchbooks and all that sort of stuff. So, but for some reason, when it comes to drawing tablets, I don't know. There's an odd mental disconnect that I just can't seem to get past, and I'm not even sure what that is. Wow, this program is going screwy now. That's not good. I should probably save. Amazon Fire tablet. I've never used a Fire tablet. MediBang Pro. That sounds like a medical app where you get medical advice. But it's a drawing. It's a digital drawing app, MediBang Pro. Yeah, I mean, at this point, oh my goodness, there's so many programs, there's so many apps, there's so much stuff that I don't even know how most people make a decision on what they're gonna use unless they work at a company or a studio. It's just, I mean, the amount of experimentation and trial and error that you'd have to do. It just, I don't know. can't imagine how. I wonder why my paint bucket's not working anymore. That's not a good sign when everything is a brush. Uh-oh. That's gotta be bad. Right? When everything, no matter what you're using, is a brush like this. This is now, that's not paint anymore. That's a brush. That's a brush. Uh-oh. I think we might be coming to the end of this, because I think it might be on the verge of crashing out. Which is odd, because this, to be quite honest, this program rarely ever has issues with crashing and dumping out. So maybe it's the streaming that's causing it to lose this sort of ability to maintain, which is pretty good to know, actually. That if I go too long, that it's gonna die out. Yeah, that Wacom stuff does look pretty cool though. Yeah, if you don't have a lot of, like, if you're not making a lot of money, or you're not able to invest, like, Wacom products are out of the question, Although I've seen on Wacom's site as of recent that they do offer these sort of financing plans, which is pretty cool. Especially if you're able to maintain some sort of monthly finances, like if you work part-time or something, or if you're able to do some commission or freelance work or something to that effect. It's not too bad of a deal. And if it's part of, if you have a company or a business, like if you freelance, you could potentially write some of that, the cost of that off too. So it's an investment. I mean, it's a hefty investment, but there's other graphic tablets out there too that I've not tried yet, because number one, I'm not buying a tablet just to try it out, because I don't have that kind of disposable income. I'm married, I got kids, I got bills, so I'm not in a position to be like, you know what I'm gonna go do today? I'm gonna go get me a graphics tablet to play around with. Like, that is not happening. That is just not happening. All right, so I'm almost done. I'm gonna call after I finish up the rest of this sort of shadow and just adjust the opacity on it, to show you the render. I'm probably gonna be calling this finito, because again, I get the feeling that my computer is not really happy with the settings that I have for this. I think maybe my video settings are just too high. I'm not 100% sure. This is one of my first times really streaming. I did one a long time ago, but I did it on accident, because I was trying to do I was just trying to record a screen, and somehow I wasn't even paying attention, and next I was streaming. And then it was online, and then, like I said in the beginning, that got all these copyright threats and all that sort of stuff. So, because I was listening to music. I was listening to music, and all these music people, these music companies were hitting me up like, you're in violation. And I was like, oh my goodness. All right, so that's my faux shadow. Faux as in fake. So I'll just save this real quick. Control S. And then I'll just I'll go to the layer where I did this shading, and I'm gonna bring up the layer properties for this. And what I usually will do, and I'll just drop this to like 50%, and then render it out, and then you can see some pretty cool shadows. So it looks like he has like a little bit of a cast shadow around the edge, and so I think it looks pretty cool. It's a quick and easy way of being able to do shadows too, and then you can color shift the shadows and all that sort of stuff, which makes it pretty nice. And James, you got all kind of software. You got Fire Alpaca. I never even heard of that. What is Fire Alpaca? That sound like that could be like a new rapper or something. This is my boy, Fire Alpaca. Yo, hit him with that fire. I got that Fire Alpaca. I don't know. That was bad. I shouldn't have did that. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this whiteout real quick. It's one of my favorite things to do. Let me go back here. And so what I like to do is I like to put this like cool little illustrated line. It's like a pop line. So all it does is it just separates the character from the background. So I really love this. It's really obscene. I probably shouldn't do it as much as I do it. But I feel like it pops the silhouette read too, because you get this really strong outline. And again, I probably shouldn't do it. Right? I'm serious though. Doesn't Fire Alpaca does sound like it could be a rap group or maybe a band of some sort. I could just hear them being announced, especially on like one of those music award shows or something. So the winner for Band of the Year goes to Fire Alpaca. Right? I mean, you can hear that in your head. That sounds like an amazing name for a band. Unfortunately, it's software, so you can't use it now, but that would be such a cool name for a band. Probably not a punk band, maybe more to like the new sort of pop music type stuff. It probably could work. I can't see a punk or a rock band with the Fire Alpaca. It sounds a little too soft for that. But they could definitely probably do that pop top 40 kind of stuff. Make those sort of really cool, irrelevant songs. The ones that don't really have any real meaning. You know, those groups that you hear the song and you want to hate it, but you can't hate it because you're like, whoa, this is. You find yourself later just singing that song, and you're like, why am I singing this song? That's what I imagine a group named Fire Alpaca would do, like that kind of stuff. I know it sounds crazy. So the cool part is I don't have to care about breaking into the lines, because even though it's transparent, like you can see through it here, because this is just preview mode, and I'm not sure how familiar anybody watching this stream is with Toon Boom, but in the preview you can see some of the strokes in there. It looks kind of heinous. That's because my for some reason my paint bucket just went awry, and I'm not sure why. Again, I'm thinking this was just my test, so I'm kind of working out some of the bugs of why things are potentially not working the way they ought to be. So it's good to work out the kinks before you really do what you really were gonna do. So that's what this video is, and so I appreciate y'all jumping in and checking it out and hanging out. So Frozen Flames as an album, I don't even know what kind of music that would be. Frozen Flames. Yeah, if you're not animating, I probably wouldn't recommend excuse me. If you're not animating, I wouldn't get Toon Boom. Cause it's not like a multi-purpose thing like Photoshop, or even like if you're making comics like a manga studio. It's not really multi-purpose like that. I don't think it is. I mean, I like it because I like the drawing tools, but I don't think it's multi-purpose. So if you need an image editing thing, I wouldn't go with this. If you're animating or you just like doing vector type drawing, I mean, I love it for vector type drawing, because you can make the nice thick to thin line and that sort of stuff, which is really cool. Oh, let me do a highlight on the eyes too. I like highlights on the eyes. And then I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna call it quits after that. I'll put this all the way at the top, all the way up. So I'll put a little highlight here too, because it's one of those shiny, sort of shiny top hats. Maybe a little shine on these edges too. Maybe on the nose too, because nose. And maybe a couple little spots in the mouth. Maybe across the tooth here. Got a few shiny bits here or there, because people love shiny stuff, you know. I should probably not go overboard with the shininess though. And then let's hit the render on that so you can see what it looks like. Boom. It's got a little cartoon vibe to it. Got the sort of shell. I can't even say cell shading. Why is this so hard? So that's about it for the night. Again, I just want to test this out, see how it works, see if it's doing what I need to do. And so far, I mean, looks like I got a little stream in, so I'm thinking that it's probably gonna work out. Put the little color card on there too, because I don't like the black background. I feel like it blends too much. So again, if you show up tomorrow, again, I'm gonna be giving out some stickers from the webcomic. So that's gonna be about 9 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm just messing around. So I'm doing a bunch of new stuff for the webcomic. I had a bunch of old stuff that I'm posting right now. So if you get a chance, and again, go check out the webcomic too. But tomorrow I'll be, doing a whole bunch of jabbering as well. So thank y'all for coming out. Check out the video, share it with other people. It should be online soon. Thank y'all. Peace. I'm out.